Hello everyone! I'm very happy to have you here today. And I think we can get started. Let me just check if everything's alright. Okay, so let's get started. Olá pessoal! Hello everyone! Welcome to this Q&A with Laura, the live class, the live Portuguese class where I answer all of your Portuguese questions, whether it's pronouncing words, picking up new phrases and expressions, or even understanding Brazilian culture. I'm here for you. But before we get started, as usual, if you're new here to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of my future videos. Also, you can follow me on other social media. I'm there by singbrazilian. Alright? And in today's class, I will show you some answers to some common questions, some questions I received here, okay? I want you to feel free to drop your own questions too, so you can leave it in the comments, okay? In the comments of this video or in the comments of any other videos that I upload here. You can leave your question there and I might answer it here, okay? Another possibility is to put your question in the form and the link is in the description, okay? So you can put your question there anonymously too, and it's okay, I will answer them next time. Ready? Prontos? So, vamos lá. Let's go. Let's get started. So, our first question here, let me put here. My video was off, right? Sorry. So, I was saying, you can leave your questions here in the comments, okay? In the comments of this video or in the comments of any other videos I upload. Or if you want to post your question anonymously, you can also put it in the form. The link is in the description. You just access there and leave your question and I will answer it next time, all right? So let's go to our first question. Our first question from today is this one. Are there specific genres of Portuguese music that are easier for beginners to understand? So this is a very, very common question, guys. I've received this more than once, and people, it's normal that you imagine that some genres are more difficult than others, and that's true. So, for beginners learning Portuguese, certain genres of music might be more accessible due to their clear pronunciation, slower rhythm, and simple lyrics. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you some specific genres here, but keep in mind that this is not a rule, okay? All of these have songs that are easy and songs that are difficult. So it depends more on the song than on the genre. But of course, some of them follow a pattern, okay? So some genres tend to follow a pattern, and because of that, some are better to learn, all right? So I'm gonna tell you some of those now. Let me start here. The first one is Música Popular Brasileira, the MPB. Have you heard of this? MPB. Música Popular Brasileira, the popular Brazilian music. So this genre has like various Brazilian musical styles. You know, it combines different styles and it often has like well-articulated lyrics, you know. Usually it's in a slower rhythm, so it's good for beginners. But sometimes these lyrics can be complex, you know. So, depends on the song, okay? Try to start with simple songs, with songs that have simple structures and the rhythm will be in your favor, okay? You can look for artists like Caetano Veloso, Gilberto Gil, Tim Maia, Elis Regina, Marisa Monte, Djavan, Nando Reis, and many others. So this MPB has many artists, okay? There are some more recent options, for example, like Thiago York, Ana Vitória, os Gilsons. So you have many options in this musical style here, okay? Just make sure not to start with a song that has like very difficult lyrics, you know, very long lyrics. Start with something simpler, okay? But the rhythm, the melody is good for learning. Another one that is similar to the first is national pop rock. And sometimes even the artists can be the same, you know, so it's similar. Sometimes it's hard to identify a song as MPB or as national rock, pop rock, but some artists might be the same, and therefore this is also a good genre for learning. So for beginners, you can try some songs from Capital Inicial, it's a rock band, Skank is another band, Cazuza, Legião Urbana, Jota Quest, Lulu Santos, and many others. I have used songs from these artists here in classes before. For example, the song Fácil, that is by the band Jota Quest. So you can already find a lesson here that I used one of these singer songs, and I really like it, you know. So that song Fácil is an example of an easy song, a song that is good for beginners, and you already have the lesson here, so check it out. So you can start there. Start in this song Fácil by Jota Quest, okay? The next genre we'll be exploring here that I think it's worth a try is sertanejo universitário. This is like a subdivision of Brazilian country music, okay? So it often includes themes of everyday life, relationships, and let me tell you some notable artists. So you can try Jorge e Mateus, Henrique e Juliano, and Marília Mendonça. I already used the Marília Mendonça song here in the channel to teach you the future tense, the simple future tense. So you can start there too. I'm gonna leave all of these links in the description for you to start. Just know that sometimes in this genre, the pronunciation might not be so clear. You know, sometimes these are like live recordings, so the pronunciation might not be so clear, but the lyrics are simple. Usually the lyrics are simple and repetitive, so this is very good for learning. You can start there. We have a comment here. Saif is saying he likes Gustavo Lima. Yeah, Gustavo Lima is another example. I forgot to put here, but Gustavo Lima is also an example from sertanejo universitário. Very good. And now I'm gonna tell you about some other genres that wouldn't be here. I don't think it would be here in my top 3, but they can also be useful. And one that I know many people love is Bossa Nova. So Bossa Nova can be very useful for learning too. It's known for being calm, soothing, so it's typically sung at a moderate pace, you know, so it's good for learning this pace, but the lyrics tend to be more complex, okay? Usually the Bossa Nova lyrics are a little bit more complex, so I would start with some simple songs if I were you. You know, try for example, Garota de Ipanema, some simple songs, okay? And save some songs for when you are an intermediate to advanced level, so this will be very useful for you then. But if you're starting now, try something simpler, okay? And some classic artists from this style are João Gilberto, Antônio Carlos Jobim, the Tom Jobim. Also, you can find Elis Regina here in this category too. Chico Buarque, so many artists here. And the other styles that are also very famous are samba e pagode. These are two different styles, but they have some stuff in common. So again, they can be useful, but also depends on the song you choose, okay? You can try some artists like Cartola, Beth Carvalho, Martinho da Vila for samba, okay? Pagode is like a subdivision of samba, okay? And you can try groups like Exalta Samba e Grupo Revelação. But once again, you should pay attention to the song you choose, okay? Try not to choose very difficult songs if you are starting now, okay? It's more complicated. And I know that for you, you will not know what is a simple, what is a difficult song, so try for the size of the lyrics. If a song has like smaller lyrics and they are very repetitive, they're good for learning usually. And now a polemic one that I know people like, okay, but it's not very good for learning. That is funk music. Is it useful for learning or not? Well, in my opinion, funk music is not so useful for learning. It's not so useful like the other ones I showed you. And why? Because funk lyrics often contain way too much slang. You know, it's basically only slang in this kind of music. And these slang are used in specific regions, in specific contexts, okay? And in general, they have a bad language too, you know? And this does not help you to develop a clear, practical Portuguese communication, you know? So, if you enjoy the rhythm, the energy of the funk, there's no harm in listening to it as part of your overall language exposure, you know? But just be aware that the language used in funk songs might be bad language, so be careful if you try to use it. And it can be also specific to certain contexts. So, in summary, it's not so useful as the other ones. If you like, I'm not going to tell you to stop listening. I'm just going to tell you to complete your learning process using other styles that I showed you. All right? So, in summary for this question, listening to a variety of genres will expose you to different accents, different rhythms, and cultural topics, you know. So, it's essential to choose music that aligns with your personal preferences, but I'm sure you will find something that interests you between these genres here that I showed you. All right? Let's go to the second question now, guys. Let's go. The second question for today is this one. What is the difference between morar and viver? I'm confused. So, these are two different verbs in Portuguese. Morar and viver are two different verbs in Portuguese, but they can overlap in some situations. So, in some situations, their meanings can be similar. Let me clarify these differences for you here. And in order to do that, I'm going to share my screen. Here. So I'm going to give you examples of the differences between these two verbs, morar and viver. So the first one, morar, specifically refers to the act of residing or living in a place, you know. It emphasizes the location with the verb morar, okay? The example I put here for you. Eu moro em São Paulo. I live in São Paulo. So the place I reside in, I live in this place. Eu moro em São Paulo, okay? So that's the verb morar. The verb viver has a broader meaning. So it includes the act of living in a place, yeah, but it also means like the overall experience of life. So involving like different aspects of life, like emotions, experiences, activities. For example, eu vivo uma vida feliz. I live a happy life. Or you can say, for example, that person has lived for 80 years. So, a pessoa viveu por 80 anos. See, it's a broader meaning. It's different from morar. But I could say, eu vivo em São Paulo. Yes, I could say that. It also has this meaning. But it's more common to say, eu moro em São Paulo. What about you? Tell me in the comments. Onde você mora? Onde você mora? And you will say like this. Eu moro em... Eu moro no Brasil. For countries, we have to put the article. So, no Brasil. Onde você mora? Tell me there in the comments while I open here the next question. Okay? Let me see here. Question number 3. So, question number 3 here. Is there any free content on YouTube tailored for Portuguese learners at the A1, A2 level? Well, this was left in one of my videos, so I'm gonna answer here too, okay? There are some content for A1, A2 for beginners, but you will need to search for basic A1, A2 concepts, topics specifically, you know, because they're usually not in the right order. So, in order to search for specific contents like this, you should know like the title of what you want, and then you can search. In my channel here, I have already uploaded content for beginners, so I can also leave here for you. After the live ends, I'm gonna leave here in the description for you, okay? So I already posted some contents for beginners, and the links will be in the description. You can also check my playlist called Learn Portuguese Grammar, okay? Most of the content there is for beginners, okay? And so, basically, you can keep watching my videos here. I always post for all the levels. Some of these contents are for beginners, but it's not a method in a right order, okay? So for the right method, keep watching me here. You will find out soon enough how to access the right method. But the point is this. Try to use some simple songs for learning, search for the right topics, and keep watching my videos here that I always post for beginners too. Alright? Let's go to the next question now. Now we have a more specific question here about the future tense. So, how do I choose the correct form of the main verb to follow ir in the future tense? Okay, this is very specific, so in case you haven't watched my class here on the future tense, I'm gonna remind you now. Let me open here my screen. So let's put here the second question now. Here. So if you want to watch the full class on the future tense, you can find here in my channel, okay? It's using a song from Marília Mendonça. It's very good. But the simple structure is this one. For the futuro simples or futuro imediato in Portuguese, you will use the verb ir, that means to go, plus the verb you want in the infinitive. How do I know that a verb is in the infinitive? The verb in the infinitive ends in R, okay? And the verb ir, we have to conjugate. So we conjugate the verb ir depending on the person. Check here. So, eu vou, tu vais, I marked here because we do not use the to conjugated when we are speaking. Okay, nowadays we do not use. We tend to say tu vai. Tu vai. Você vai, ele vai, a gente vai, nós vamos. Vós ides, this we never use. Okay, we do not use vós nowadays, especially not with this conjugation. Vocês vão, eles vão. And I put examples here for you too, so it becomes more clear for you to understand. Let's see the example. So, first, the conjugation for eu. Eu vou estudar. I will study. See, where is the verb ir here? Where is the verb ir? The verb ir is here conjugated like vou. Eu vou. The verb is ir, but it's an irregular verb, so the conjugation changes the verb a little bit. Okay? Now for tu, the correct form would be tu vais fazer. You will do make. Like I told you, we tend to say like this. Tu vai fazer. Okay? For você, você vai fazer. You will do or make something. Ela ou ele vai escrever. She or he will write. Nós vamos comer. We will eat. Nós vamos. Another possibility would be saying, a gente vai comer. See how we change the conjugation for a gente and for nós. It's different, but the meaning is the same. Vocês vão aprender. You in the plural. Vocês vão aprender. You will learn. Vocês que estão assistindo essa aula, you that are watching this class, vão aprender. You will learn. Ok? Vocês vão aprender. And the last one, eles vão viajar. They will travel. Eles vão. This can be a little tough because it's nasal, but you say it like this. Eles vão viajar. Okay? So this is the simple future. If you want to have access to the full class, you can check in the channel here. Okay? Very good. Now let's go to the last question for today. We have one more question to go, and it's also about the future. So, how do I form negative sentences and questions in the simple future tense? So, to make the negative, let me also show you my screen here. Let's make the same sentences we already did, but now using the negative. So how would I do it here? We just have to add the word não to make it negative, okay? So remember, the structure is this: ir plus the verb in the infinitive. To make it negative, all you have to do is put a não before the verb ir. So it will be like this: the person, then não, then ir, and the verb. So let's see the examples. I'm gonna put the não here with you so you understand. Eu não vou estudar. I will not study. See that the order is different from English. In English, first I say the will, then I say the not. Here it's the opposite. I say the não first, and then I say the vou, that is the verb ir, okay? So the order in Portuguese is different from English. Tu vai fazer. Tu não vai fazer. Remember this here. The correct way would be saying tu não vais fazer, but we do not use this in day-to-day conversation. Você não vai fazer. Ele ou ela não vai escrever. A gente não vai comer. Nós não vamos comer. Vocês não vão aprender. This is not true because you will learn. Eles não vão viajar. So, just put the não first. And to make questions. To make questions, all you have to do is put the dot here. The question mark here. That's all. Both for negative and for affirmative, you do not have to change the order of anything. You just change your intonation. So, eu não vou estudar, or eu vou estudar, the order doesn't change, okay? All you have to do is put this mark there and it becomes a question with the right intonation, okay? So how to know if a sentence is affirmative or if it's a question? Depending on the intonation and depending on the interrogation point you have there, okay? That's how you know. Very good. So this was our last question for today. Let me just check the comments here before we wrap it up because when I'm speaking, I cannot see the comments. Okay, so Saif, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. He's telling us that ele mora em Londres e ele viveu na Avenida Paulista quando visitou São Paulo. We can say ele viveu ou ele morou na Avenida Paulista. Very good. Thanks for the contribution here to our live class. Do you have questions? Anything I can help with? Anything else? You can drop here in the chat too. We still have some minutes I can answer, or you can leave in the comments so I will answer next time. Okay? Let me see here. And if we have no more questions, we will be finishing this live class here. Okay, so right now we have no more questions. I'll be finishing this class for today. And I hope to see you again next week. We have more live classes, okay? I want to see all of you there too. If you enjoyed this video, if you think it was helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, okay? Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. Ciao! Bye!